Om Namo Bhagavate Jai Radha Madhova Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vijayana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Panachari Jayo Radha Madhova Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirai Nashta Prayasha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Sate ma vinashed vira prajanam kshema lakshanaha yasmin vinaste nripatihi aishwaryat avarohati sate ma vinashed vira prajanam kshema lakshanaha yasmin vinaste nripatihi aishwaryat avarohati. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
That's
Sate ma vinashe dvira sajanam kshema lakshanaha yasmin vinaste ndrapatir aishwaryad avarohati.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Satema binas dvira prajanam chema lakshanam Yasmin Vidashte Nipati Aishwarya Abarohiti. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Ma vinayate nindra prajana kema lakshanah yasmin sinesha nirupati aishwaryat avarohati.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी सते मा विनशेद्वीरा प्रजानां क्षेमलक्षणः यस्मिन् विनष्टे नृपतिर् ऐश्वर्यादवरोहति हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam Prabhuji. Satyamam Veera Prajanam Kshema Lakshana Yasmin Vinaste Niste Aishwaryadavarohati. Very much Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी सतेमा विनशद्वीरा प्रजानां क्षेमलक्षणः यस्मिन् विनश्यति नृपेतिर् ऐश्वर्य अवरोहति हरे कृष्ण
प्रभु जी सादर प्रणाम सती मा विनशेद्वीरा प्रजानां क्षेमलक्षणः यस्मिन् विनष्टे निप्रतिरैश्वर्यादवरोहति हरे कृष्ण सादर
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय सते मा विनशेद्वीर प्रजानां क्षेमलक्षणः यस्मिन् विनष्टे नृपति ऐश्वर्य अवरोहति थैंक यू प्रभु जी हरे कृष्ण
Done? Anybody else? Okay. Saha, that spiritual life. Te, by you. Ma, do not. Vinashe, let it be spoiled. Veera, O hero. Prajanam, of the people. Shema Lakshanaha, the cause of prosperity. Yasmin, which. Vinashte, being spoiled. Nripatihi, the king. Aishwarya, from opulence. Avarohati, falls down. The sages continue, great hero, for this reason you should not be the cause of spoiling the spiritual life of the general populace. If the spiritual life is spoiled because of your activities, you will certainly fall down from your opulent and royal position. The sages continue, O great hero, for this reason, you should not be the cause of spoiling the spiritual life of the general populace. If the spiritual life is spoiled because of your activities, you will certainly fall down from your opulent and royal position. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Formerly, in practically all parts of the world, there were monarchies. But gradually, as monarchy declined from the ideal life of religion to the godless life of sense gratification, monarchies all over the world were abolished. However, simply abolishing monarchy and replacing with democracy is not sufficient unless the government men are religious and follow in the footsteps of great religious personalities. Hare Krishna.
Let us do. The saintly person continued, the king protect the citizens from the disturbance of the mischievous ministers, as well as from thieves and rogues. He can, by virtues of pious activity, accept taxes given by his subjects. Thus the pious king can certainly enjoy himself in this world as well as in the life after death.
Purport. The duty of a pious king is described very nicely in this verse. His first and foremost duty is to give protection to the citizens from thieves and rogues, as well as from ministers who are no better than thieves and rogues. Formerly, ministers were appointed by the king and were not elected. Consequently, if the king was not very pious or strict, the ministers would become thieves and rogues and exploit the innocent citizens. It is the king's duty to see that there is no increase of thieves and rogues either in the government secretariat or in the departments of public affairs. If a king cannot give protection to citizens from thieves and rogues, both in the government service and in public affairs, he has no right to exact taxes from them. In other words, the king or the government that taxes can levy taxes from the citizens only if the king or government is able to give protection to the citizens from thieves and rogues. In the 12th chapter of Srimadbhagavatam 12.1.40, there is a description of these thieves and rogues in government service. As stated, Prajaste bhakshatya ishyanti mlecha rajanya rupinaha. These proud mlechas, persons who are less than Shudras, representing themselves as kings, were tyrannize their subjects, and their subjects, on the other hand, will cultivate the most vicious practices. Thus, practicing evil habits and behaving foolishly, the subjects will be like their rulers. The idea is that in the democratic day of Kali Yuga, the general population will fall down to the standard of Shudras, as stated, Kalau Shudra Sambhavaha. Practically, the whole population of the world will be Shudra. A Shudra is the fourth class man who is only fit to work for the three higher social castes. Being fourth-class men, Shudras are not very intelligent. Since the population has fallen in these democratic days, they can elect a person in their category, but a government cannot run very well when it is run by the Shudras. The second class of men, known as Kshatriyas, are especially meant for governing a country under the direction of saintly persons, Brahmanas, who are very supposed to be very intelligent. In other ages, in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga and Dwapara Yuga, the general populace was not so degraded and the head of the government was never elected. The king was the supreme executive personality, and if he caught any minister stealing like thieves and rogues, he would at once have them killed or dismissed from service. As it was the duty of the king to kill thieves and rogues, it was similarly his duty to immediately kill dishonest ministers in government service. By such strict vigilance, the king could run the government very well, and the citizens would be very happy to have such a king. The conclusion is that unless the king is perfectly able to give protection to the citizens from rogues and thieves, he has no right to levy taxes from the citizens for his own sense gratification. However, if he gives all protection to the citizens and levies taxes on them, he can live very happily and peacefully in this life, and at the end of this life be elevated to the heavenly kingdom or even to the Vaikunthas, where he will be happy in all respects.
Chalo, one more. The king is supposed to be pious, in whose states, cities, and city the general populace strictly oppose a system of 8 social orders of Varna and Ashrama, and where all citizens engage in worshipping the Supreme Personality Godhead by their particular occupations.
Purport. The state's duty and citizens' duty are very nicely explained in this verse. The activities of the government head or king, as well as the activities of the citizens, should be so directed that ultimately everyone engages in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The king or government head is supposed to be the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is therefore supposed to see that things go nicely and that the citizens are situated in the scientific social order comprised of 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. In the Vishnu Purana, it is stated that unless people are educated or situated in the scientific social order comprised of 4 varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, and 4 ashramas, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa, society can never be considered real human society, nor can it make any advancement towards the ultimate goal of human life. It is the duty of the government to see that things go on in terms of Varna and Ashrama, as stated herein, Bhagavan Yajna Purushaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the Yajna Purusha, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapam. Krishna is the ultimate purpose of all sacrifice. He is also the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Therefore, he is known as Yajna Purusha. The word Yajna Purusha indicates Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna or any personality of Godhead in the category of Vishnu Tattva. In perfect human society, people are situated in the orders of Varna and Ashrama and are engaged in worshipping Vishnu by their respective activities. Every citizen engaged in an occupation renders service by the result actions of his activities. That is the perfection of life. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 18.46, Yataha pravrittirbhutanam yena sarvam idam gatam swakarmana swakarmana tam abhyacharya siddhim vindati manavaha. By the worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, man can, in the performance of his own duty, attain perfection. Thus, the Brahmana, Kshatriyas, Shudras, and Vaishyas must execute their prescribed duties as these duties are stated in the Shastras. In this way, everyone can satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. The king or government head has to see that the citizens are thus engaged. In other words, the state or the government must not deviate from his duty by declaring that the state is a secular one, which has no interest in whether or not the people advance in Varnashrama Dharma. Today, people engaged in government service and people who rule over the citizens have no respect for the Varnashrama Dharma. They complacently feel that the state is secular. In such a government, no one can be happy. The people must follow the Varnashrama Dharma and the king must see that they are following it nicely. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yasya Rashtre Pure Chaiva Bhagavan Yagna Purushaha Ijyate Svena Dharmena Janai Varnashaman Vitai. The king is supposed to be pious on whose state the cities, the general populace strictly of the system of 8 social order, the Varna and Ashrama, where all the citizens engage in worshipping the Supreme Personality Godhead by their particular occupations. Hare Krishna everybody. Audio is clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So this is the more meditation on the king. We have the description of many ideal kings in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, which is an ideal king. And you can give a reason for that. Yes.
Yudhishthir Maharaj and Parikshit Maharaj, they kept the prajas very happy throughout their Haranam.
Okay, yes. Yes. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam. Lord Rama.
Lord Rama.
Yes, Lord Rama. He kept everyone very happy and he lived up to their expectation. Even he had to drop his wife to exile, but he still continued doing so. So he's
okay, very good, very good. Yes.
Even King Janaka also, Prabhuji.
Very good. That is mentioned in Gita itself, King Janaka. Yes.
Yeah.
That's all.
Prithu Maharaj, Prabhuji.
Prithu Maharaj,
followed
yes.
the rules and regulations.
Yes. Then
Ambrish Maharaj, Prabhuji.
Ambarish Maharaj, yes. Any other Maharaj? Dhruva Maharaj, yes.
Bali Maharaj.
Bali Maharaj, yes.
Prahlad Maharaj, Prabhu.
Prahlad Maharaj, okay. Lord Krishna himself at Dwaraka, yes. Yes, Murlidharji. Yes, Murlidhar, you can unmute it.
Prabhuji, Prithu Maharaj was the best king among all the kings. This was he is the incarnation of Lord Krishna.
Okay, good. Dasharatha, yes. Okay. Fine. We got so many good kings. Now, if suppose somebody is a very good king, do you think that's the only criteria that the kingdom will go on nicely? Or there is something else?
No, Prabhuji, he has to follow the instructions of the Brahmanas, the Pandits and all that.
Okay. And then anything the subjects have to do? In the shloka it is mentioned. What is mentioned?
Varnashrama Dharma.
Yes, now they should be doing their particular occupations. Okay? Now see the particular setup. Anywhere you are a leader. In a house, you are running your house. Can you run the house when other people refuse to cooperate and do their duties? It's not possible. Correct? So therefore, king or a leader, anyway, leaders are there. You cannot have a country without leader. We spend how much money? 50,000 crores on paper, and maybe more than that, just to have a leader for the country. That's similar in America. This whole year the drama is going on because you need a leader. You cannot run a country without a leader. Our whole America will be spending more, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe just to select one leader. But can the leader, okay, you select. And Prabhupada was not very satisfied by seeing that because people are not very mature, they are selecting fools to be their leader. Correct? That is the mistake of the citizens. But the point here is, if the citizens are not ready to do their duties, then however great the king can be, the whole thing will be a failure. Either it is democracy, or it is monarchy, or communism, or you can create a new system, whatever you like. You need cooperation. But then when you cooperate, you have to have a goal. What you are cooperating for. Now, in the most of the world, the cooperation is limited to some individual selfishness. Just like in a family, they cooperate, but they're envious of the neighbor. So it's not just because they are cooperating for some very small objectives. The goal is to achieve very small objectives. Okay, you can say we'll cooperate so the whole humanity be comfortable. What about animals? They are also called praja. Praja means which take birth in a particular kingdom. Ja means jayate, which takes birth. So which take birth in a particular kingdom is praja. So prajapati, the king has to take care not only human being, he has to take care of animals. He also has to take care of plants. He has to take care of insects. That's a real king. Now, we cannot train the plants and the animals, but at least the human being can be trained. And for achieving the center, just like, we have Karnataka. So these are all Kannadigas to be together. Then they become selfish. Recently, they wanted to pass a resolution. All the jobs should be given only to the Kannadigas. What about the people who come from other states, migrant? No, they should not be given. So they become selfish, and so all the states, that is the basic principle, they'll start fighting among themselves, then the countries fight among themselves. So it's not a very advanced principle to just for the physical welfare. Rather, Prabhupada, as he explained in the letter to Nehru, the focus should be not so much on physical welfare only. Physical welfare means, okay, people should have food to eat and a place to take rest, that's it. Why go into their greed and forget the taking care of the need, and the focus comes spiritual development. And a society, the kingdom which is blind to that is being condemned by Srila Prabhupada here. Prabhupada is very strong words condemning. See, if you say Vena, what was wrong with Vena? Today the Vena will be worshipped. He was very cruel in that respect. Okay, if any rogue and thief is there, just cut his head. So people can stay peacefully. But Vena had no idea that actually at the end the Lord should be worshipped. We cooperate to worship the Lord. This was not in the picture of Vena. Cooperation for what purpose? Some siddhi, haritoshana, just like in a temple. Now so many activities are going on, but overall at the end is the Lord is satisfying. The same way, the whole kingdom is cooperating. At the end, the Lord is worshipped. But Vena removed the Lord itself from the picture. He said, no, why do you worship the Lord? You worship me. Correct? That's what we see is happening. The Vena removes the Lord himself from the picture. So then what is there to talk? There's nothing to talk. So therefore, the sages are very alarmed. And today, the same situation exists. All the countries very without any kind of hesitation have declared themselves secular. And basically, they say, actually, secular means nirpantha, means they're not going to take side of any religion, but they just say that, but actually they have no interest in a religion. They think that religion is some kind of an utopia, as communists say, is the opium of the masses. So with that kind of a picture which we develop for life, the opium of the masses, it's some kind of a thing which is put down through the education, through the media, religions particularly, they write Hindu mythology, god of Hindu mythology, basically myth. So when you're giving that picture and it's kind of the real goal, not only for the country, see, the country is run based on the leaders. The leaders are appointed by the public. So it finally comes down to public, what kind of values they are having. Public is like children. Children may not know so many things, but they have to be trained in that. But what kind of training when we have public itself is not interested? Now come down to forget a kingdom, come down to a small household. Now what is the focus of an household? Their focus is the children should grow up, they should get a job and eat food and feed their family. There is no more higher focus in that. When individually families have come down to that level, what do you expect the country to be better than that? It is same. It's like people say the leaders are corrupt. Everybody is corrupt. How many people you see are honest? Nobody. Everybody is finding a way how he can be dishonest. So the leaders will also be from where they're coming. They're not dropping from heaven. They are coming from the citizens itself. Okay, so that's the situation. Therefore, in democracy, you cannot blame anybody because the leaders are selected by the public. They cannot blame anybody because they selected the leader. How they can blame anybody? His power is in the hands of the public. Okay. So anyways, comparing systems is a different thing, but what is missing is that the worship of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the famous shloka comes from Bhagavatam, apranasi dehasya mandalam loka ranjanam bhagavad bhakti heenasya. If in certain country or society or home, bhagavad bhakti heenasya, if you see the devotion to the Lord is lacking, jati shastram tapaskriya, but at the same time we see that there is great heritage, jati, shastram, there is a great learning, tapas, there are great austerities, kriya, great activities. If these four are still there, jati, shastram, tapas, kriya, apranasya dehasya, it is like a dead body, mandalam loka ranjanam, only fools will celebrate such a dead body. Loka ranjanam. So this is a very strong statement. And the sages saw the Vena is running the kingdom. Even say Duryodhana, he was also running nicely, he was a good administrator. But Bhagavad Bhakti, heenasya, without any devotion to Supreme Lord. There's so many people. We had Prahlad Maharaj was studying in a school of Shanda in America. He rejected their instruction. because there was Bhagavad Bhakti Heenasya. So, Apranasrehasya. It's like today, what is wrong with the schools and colleges? The main thing is Bhagavad Bhakti Heenasya. Even if it is done, it is not done very properly. Tameva Mata cha Pita cha Tameva. But no proper name, no proper direction. So, in a society which is overall Bhagavad Bhakti Heenasya, we don't expect anything good. Now, this is a revolution. The sages are getting upset at King Vena. I don't think today public will be upset. People are happy. People are like animals. They just want to eat food and sleep. There is no higher goal in their life. Rather, society is so disorganized, as I say every day, that these things have become an anxiety. Actually, for animals, they also eat and sleep. These things are not such an anxiety for them. They are not struggling so hard to find food and sleep as human beings. Society should be so organized that actually these things don't become an issue. So people can then think about higher things. If for a common mass of public, eating, sleeping itself is such a big challenge that become today, then for them this itself is a great challenge. And they are in great anxiety how to meet these challenges. So the two things which were found missing by the sages, number one was that the King Vena had removed Bhagavad Bhakti from the society. And himself placed himself as the king. As you can see, his response now, and before they curse him. You see, they give him good advice, they're alarmed, they remind him, my dear sir, why you are doing all this? O noble one, as the king sees the Supreme Personality, God, the original cause of cosmic manifestation, and super soul within everyone is worship. The Lord will be satisfied. They're directing him. What have you done? And the Supreme Personality, Godhead, whom you should worship, is worshipped by the great demigods. Okay? When he's satisfied, nothing is impossible to achieve. All the devatas, everybody take great pleasure in worshipping the Supreme Lord. So what about you? Even the great devatas take pleasure in worshipping him. See how much guidance is. Dear King, the Lord is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Like that, they are guiding him. So, oh hero, do not stop the sacrificial performances. If you stop them, you will disrespect the demigods. And what is the answer? Vena uvacha. King Vena replied, look at him after all the instruction the sages has given. You are not at all experienced. I tell you, you will get the same answer today. There's not much different. You are not at all experienced. It is very much regrettable that you are maintaining something which is not religious and accepting it as religious. Indeed, I think you are giving up your real husband who maintains you and searching after a paramour to worship. Just imagine. Okay? He's saying, what are you doing? Those who out of gross ignorance do not worship the King who is actually the Supreme Personality Godhead experience happiness neither in this world nor in the world after death. He's saying, I am maintaining you. You should worship me. What happened to you? You are so devoted to the demigod. Who are they? कहाँ है भाई? किसने देखे? Indeed, your affection for the demigod is like the affection of an unchaste woman who neglects a married life and gives all attention to her paramour. Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, Vayu, the master of the air, Yama, the spirit of death, the sun god, the director of rainfall, Kuvera, the treasurer, moon god, predominant deity, Agni, the fire god, Varuna, the lord of the water, all others who are great, competent to bestow benediction curse, all abide in the body of the king. For the king is known as the reservoir of all the demigod, was simply part and parcel of the king body. King Vena Kandi, for this is a Brahmana, you should abandon your envy for me, and by your richest activity you should worship me and offer me all paraphernalia. If you are intelligent, you should know that there is no personality superior to me who can accept the first oblations of all sacrifices. Can you imagine? This is the reality. ठीक है ना? So what has been the situation that's faced by, see, people may not openly say this thing, but they believe these things. By body, minds and words, that is what was said by the sages to the king. You should worship the Lord by body, mind and words. Not just officially explaining the philosophy, but by mentally, by your words, by your body, we worship the Supreme Lord. True, we are doing sadhana, but at least we are aligned in that direction. And King Vena, you can see his heart. He's saying, what is the use? I am the king. I represent all the devatas. I represent the Supreme Lord. And he's stopping all worship to the Supreme Lord. This is very strange. So this is the sages become upset. We'll keep meditating on that. Hare Krishna. Anybody feeling what is the mistake which is being made by Vena? Anybody can explain what mistake you think the Vena is making?
Prabhuji, he thinks that he is the enjoyer and he does not regard the Lord as his superior, and therefore he wants to accrue to himself all the functions that the people would perform towards the Lord, worshipping, offering, submission, everything, instead of his submitting to the Lord and then passing on that quality to the people. He was trying to aggregate everything to himself like a dictator in this world.
Like a Mayavadi, it looks like.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Like I am God, you are God, everybody. Yeah. Murlidharji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The king is supposed to function under the spiritual guidance of the gurus. So if that is lacking, then the king cannot function independently of the guru.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Anybody else? Okay, so I think today is Ganesh Chaturthi. Many people are busy. There are so many functions at home. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare
So
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Yes, who can locate the shloka? There is a shloka which in Brahma Samhita which talks about Ganesha. Who can locate the shloka quickly?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये स गणाधिराजा विघ्नात् विहन्तुमलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Again, you speak it 3 times so we can meditate on it. Yes.
यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये स गणाधिराजा विघ्नात् विहन्तुमलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Yes, one more time.
यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये स गणाधिराजा विघ्नात् विहन्तुमलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Yeah, now you can read the meaning.
No, I am reciting by memory, Prabhu.
Oh, so nice.
Read the meaning.
Yes, you read. Ratnagiri Mataji, yes.
I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, whose lotus feet are always held by Ganesha upon the pair of tumuli protruding from his elephant head in order to obtain power for his function of destroying all the obstacles on the path of progress of the three worlds.
Yes, so Ganesha you can always meditate to remove the obstacle in service to Krishna. Okay? So when you are traveling today, you will see Ganesha everywhere. People, so don't have to ignore, pay your obeisances and request him. On the path of service to Krishna, please remove all obstacles. Okay? So in that way, in some Krishna temples also Ganesha is kept in that way. People pray to him to remove. And it is said he's holding the lotus feet of the Lord, so we directly worship Supreme Lord. In that way we can explain that he is taking power from Krishna, so we directly go to Krishna to remove the obstacles. We directly go to Narasimhadeva to remove the obstacles in the path of devotion service. Okay? Hare Krishna. Generally people meditate on him for some material thing. But the better is to directly ask him to remove obstacles in service to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
So you can,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the darshanam.
Hare Krishna. Vancha
Hare
kalpasya
Thank you.
kripa sindhu eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo
Krishna.
Vaishnava Gaudiya Vaishnava ki jai.